Hey everybody, welcome to Empower Grid Podcast. This is the podcast for you to unleash your fullest potential consistently and be the best version of yourself. Guys, last week it was a solo podcast which I did, and I hope that you learned a lot. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. And today I have a different sort of a podcast. I have invited one of my good friends. He's actually like a brother to me. He is Rashmitha Fernando. What's up, brother? Great to have you on the show.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've been talking to do this, and I'm so glad that I got able to start this. And you're the first guest on the show, man.
Thanks for having me, man. It's my pleasure.
It's so good to have a proper brother to be on the show. He's not my real brother, but he is more than like a brother to me. And he's actually, we both work out together too.
Yeah, that's
at the gym. That's how we met.
Yeah.
So Rashmitha is actually a professional model. He won Mr. Personality at the Manhunt 2019.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about modeling. We're going to talk about his life story. We're going to talk about the values and principles by which he lived by. At the same time, and the end of the podcast, moving to the end, we'll be talking about a topic which I believe might have some controversial, but I think we both are men. We got to talk about it. It's going to be about masculinity.
Definitely.
So it's a topic I believe is just underestimated, which has many controversials. So I want to hear your perspective about it, man. So how did you enter? Where did the passion for modeling started, man?
Yeah, well, it's been a long journey, It was back when I was in school. I remember I was in around grade 9 maybe. Okay. And then I remember there was this big hype for modeling back in time, people used to, there were some models, upcoming models where children and used to be go crazy about, especially girls, oh my God, he's this and he's that. And, I was pretty I honestly didn't have any plans of doing modeling of that sort, it was very hostile, at the beginning. It was something that I never heard of, where none of my family or friends were involved in, and it was pretty different. But then actually there was one day, this is a true story though, where near my school there was a banner, right? Said, it was a Vantage banner, and there's this guy in it, and I was like, damn, I wish I could be there, I wish I could be modeling, and it looks good. And there was some old school students from my school who were models, and I remember teachers also used to talk about them. So then after my A-levels, I think it was my mom who saw an advertisement on TV saying it's like you can apply for Manhunt 2019.
Damn, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then, my relatives also just, give it a shot. Why not? You need to be confident about it. And then that's how it started. And out of the blue, I submitted my form and I went to auditions. Yeah. And all these guys were all professional models. And I was like, where did I get myself into? It's all faces that we see every day on TV. And everyone, just was way older than me. And then I went to auditions and I did it. And the main thing that they were shocked was my age. Mm-hmm. I was super young.
How old were you?
I was 19, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 2019, right? This was in, yes.
And then it was crazy, right? And then they were like, oh my God, you're so young. And I was like, yeah, but I think it was self-confidence. And then I was chosen for the top 20, I think.
Okay.
There were loads of applicants and many people. And then I was chosen, right? That's where it started. And I was the youngest to be ever selected. And that's where my career in modeling started.
That's amazing, man. So everybody might have an indication about his age. Let's not talk about that.
Yes.
I have to say 19. So it's amazing. It's amazing to see your mom was the one who actually inspired you to go into modeling, isn't it?
Yeah, she just suggested. It was nothing planned.
It's beautiful because modeling is actually a beautiful area.
Yes.
It's a beautiful profession to have. But in Sri Lanka, we have different perspectives about it.
The thing is, man, in Sri Lanka, especially, I'm saying from my personal experience, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what other people think about it. This is completely subjective. But if you think about it, modeling is a very, very, it's very dangerous, to be honest. You should know how to carry yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Sri Lanka because I have no big idea on how other countries work with this industry. But you need to be very careful as to what you do. And it's always how you carry yourself. It's always what you are willing to do. And it's always how you show yourself to other people. That's what mattered to me the most, especially maybe a male model, female model, fitness model, ramp model, whatever you're into. It's just how you carry yourself, and it's the discipline. Honestly, as a young kid, it was the first thing that inspired me was more than the physical looks. It was how a person carried him or herself. the etiquette and the personality and how you portrayed yourself to the people. That was the most important thing.
Yeah.
And that's a big lesson to life as well, not just into modeling and just ramping, but if you think about it, it's crucial. Like, there are times in life where you can get inspired by looking at someone or like him or he, how that person carries him or herself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You can learn a lot. And it doesn't need to take time it just clicks. Like, you see a person acting, walking, or doing whatever that person is doing, and within a few seconds, boom, like it clicks, and you're like, damn, like that's impressive. That's where the true story, like the true identity of a model, I think that's how it can be identified.
Wow, I think there's a very, very important principle over there. How you carry yourself forward, it's about the self-confidence, it's about the discipline, it's mainly about the self-respect you have for yourself.
Yes.
And also it's about, how much self-worth you see in yourself.
Yeah,
it's
and
critical.
It goes to confidence, man. Like, on that day, whatever, like, if I was thinking something like, oh no, I won't be able to make it, I'm too young, I'm too small, I'm not built. All these other guys were massive guys, built, they had loads of experience, they were in commercials, and they were professional models, and I stepped in that, it was just the experience, to be honest. My friends and family was also like, just go for it, it doesn't matter you win or lose, but it's just the experience. But in my head, I wanted to be selected because I have this thing, if I'm going to do something, I do it to win. Yeah. Like, no point.
Go all the way.
Yeah, man. I don't care. Like, I know people are like, you should just participate, blah, blah, blah. But you need to step in with the winning mentality.
The biggest problem, it's about, it's one thing to have humility.
Yeah.
But having the desire and the urgency to win is actually very, very critical.
Yes.
Most people think, from our school days, the biggest mistake I believe that we do is we give votes for participation. There's a guy called Tim Grover. If you have not heard about him, go search about him. Watch his interviews. It's critical. He says the real champions in industries, whether it's an athlete or a business person, they're the guys who don't want awards or appreciation just for doing things. They earn it by going all the way and completing the job. So Tim was saying, just giving awards for participation puts your mindset into less of a champion.
Yes.
And what makes you champion is that winning mindset.
I think where this starts is, man, it's from school, right?
Yeah.
You see, like, even in our school grades, when we were really small, when we were kids, we used to go for sports meet, athletic meets, or you name it. Like, there were awards for participation.
Exactly.
And there were times where myself included, like, we participate just to get the participation certificate. And I think it's since that age where the mentality has been built, Like, it's crazy because then we carry that habit, and you are in society, you are done with everything, and you're still in the same mindset. But that is not going to take you anywhere, man. It's not going to take you far.
Yeah, let's not degrade the participation part. We have to. It's really, I think the whole idea of participation came to invite people come into the game.
Yes.
What has happened was, like, people have settled in to accept just participation. That's the problem today.
That's right.
I think this whole award for participation was given to invite people. But today they're just like, I participated, so I have done my job.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go, guys. The world doesn't care about your participation. I'm talking about the truth. World only cares about the results you create in your life. So that's a very good point, man. We are just started the show, and like already 3 amazing points are coming out. So there's a lot to go, guys. There's a lot to go. So in addition to confidence, and in addition to how you carry yourself and your winning mindset, what are the principles you think that really helped you to become who you were at such a young age, man?
Honestly, man, I think one thing I've always believed was motivation. It's completely useless. Don't get me wrong, but wait till I complete this,
No,
right?
seriously.
Motivation is completely useless, but what gets you going, or what gets you to where you want to be, it's discipline.
Exactly.
Discipline is what builds consistency. Like, it's discipline, man. It's doing things that you don't want to do over and over and over again. Every day, waking up in the morning. This can be applied to anything. You might be a cleaner, man. You might be a director. You might be a doctor, engineer. You name it. Anything, whatever you want to be. It can be anything. If it means working out, if it means achieving your goals, studying, it's doing the same damn thing every day, over and over again. Even if you don't want to do it. That's what consistency is, man. That's how you build yourself. That's how you push yourself hard, and that is what creates success. Motivation is nothing. Motivation is just going up on YouTube and watching a video and being like, oh my God, you're motivated for like what? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 day, 1 week? That's not going to take you anywhere, man.
Yeah.
Anybody can feel the feeling of motivation. Just, like, I'm sure, like, we talk about motivation here, right? But I'm sure all the people who are watching, like, you go on YouTube and you hear the same thing every time. Do this, do that. And sometimes it's just meaningless. I've been there, like, I hear all these people are like, oh, failures are the pillars of success, blah, blah, blah. But when you actually step into the game, it's not that easy.
It is not.
Anyone can be motivated, man. But it takes time to understand the concept that it's consistency what gets you there.
Exactly.
And to be consistent, you need to be disciplined. You need to be damn well disciplined. And that's the main important thing, man.
Yeah, the thing about motivation, it's there's like two different things. You have the inspiration and you have the motivation. Guys, like, motivation is like you're trying to put fire into somebody. But inspiration is about you talk to somebody in a way that you actually, releases the fire within himself or herself. So I'm a big believer that motivation, this short-term motivation, doesn't work. Real educational inspiration is what works.
Yes.
So what the biggest problem today is, like, most people, they just want to feel good all the time. They just want to feel the moment.
They just look for validation, man.
That's it. So they think, right now I watched a motivational video, so like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But no, guys, it's about what you listen to and what you apply that matters. You must hear the words discipline. Even listening to us, guys. Even listening to us. Even listening to Rashmitha. If you just listen to it, just to feel good, it ain't going to help you with anything. What you got to do is, you got to listen. You got to evaluate. Don't just take it from us just because we're saying it. Always think, what are they saying? Why are they saying? And is it really making meaning for my life? If it does, go ahead and apply it. That's what you do. You got to do. And at the end of the day, Rashmitha, one thing I believe is, like, prescription don't work if you don't take the medicine,
Yes, sir.
Most people want the prescription all the time. They're like, what's the secret for success? What's the secret for success? I'm like, there's no proper secret for success.
Yes.
There are a set of principles you got to apply every day for your life. And discipline is one key factor, man. Like, most people, like, I don't know why they just don't want to do tough things.
Simple saying, man. It's just doing the things that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
If you want it as bad, you just got to do it, man. There's no shortcut to success.
There is no. It's
There's
a
no
long
shortcut
way.
to success.
It takes a lot of patience when you go for there. And Spartan Warriors had a beautiful quote. They say, like, warriors are made out of discipline. And discipline is when you do the most uncomfortable thing when when you don't really feel like doing it, just like you said.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy, guys. Get disciplined. You got to get disciplined. And it's all about little things you do, man, when it comes to discipline. It's most people want to do the big thing.
Yeah.
But how you do one thing is how you do another thing, right? It's just like, when you wake up, make your bed. Make your bed. So the first thing when you wake up, when you make your bed, you're already disciplining yourself. Do things on time. Organize yourself. These things are little things where we can do to really, build that discipline muscle.
It's just the baby steps that you take. I know, like, I've been there too in life,
Yeah.
like,
We
can't
all have,
lie
man.
about it, no lies, but I've been there at points in life where I just wanted to, be extremely successful overnight, and that's not going to work, man.
That's not
hard.
going to work. That is not going to work.
It's just all about it's your perspective and how you see things, what matters in the end, It's like taking the small steps at a time, like you said, making your bed. That's number one. Start from that, and you see, if you start from that, let's say you have a bad day, and after a heavy, work, study, whatever it is, you come back home, at least you have a nice clean bed to get into.
That's the thing.
Like the baby step, and you think
That
about
is
it, it's crazy, right? Like, you make your bed, and then you come back home. I mean, you might think it's nothing. Anyone can argue, it's nothing, I can do it later. But then after having a bad day, you come back home, you have a nice clean bed. It's very welcoming. And what more can you ask for in a time like that,
Exactly. It's about, when completing the things you start is very critical to build discipline. When we work out, I always tell you, like, don't just complete the workout.
Yeah.
Don't stop midway. Because
It's about finishing. It's about pushing yourself harder every single time.
Yep.
That's how you like.
Because in my last episode, I was saying, most people want to be successful within the comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's not going to
That's not going to work.
That's not going to work. Some people, you and I say, most guys come to gym. They just want to make big results, but they want to get shortcuts. They go to the coach. They say, what's the best schedule? Yeah, there's no best schedule.
Whatever the schedule is, if you're putting the work, it works. That's what I tell everyone. There were times, like, my friends and all, they're like, what works, what supplements, what workouts, what charts, like, if it's like push, pull, legs, whatever it is, it's like, whatever you do, if you're putting in enough work, CrossFit, powerlifting, strongman, aesthetics, you name it, whatever it is. But if you're putting in enough work, that's going to get you results, bro.
That's
like, you do push-ups like every day, you're still going to build muscle. You don't have to lift weights. Like,
Exactly.
It's like that, you know.
It's about the little things you do and how well you do those little things.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a shortcut, guys, I'm telling you, he's telling you, they don't exist. It's a long route. It works different. The time works different from person to person. But if you keep believe in yourself and if you keep doing the work, I believe everybody has the chance to be successful.
Yes.
But you got to have a lot of patience. You got to have a lot of grit. So, man, the name of the show is Empower Grit. And we're talking about grit already.
Yep.
Like, why do you think most people don't have grit today, man? Most youngsters, they don't have grit. Why do you think it is?
I think, man, like our lives are too comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, with the growing technology, with everything. Like you see, I saw this thing on YouTube once, right? It said back in the days, like you had very limited sources of entertainment or whatever it is, and right now you are just sitting in your sofa, you're lying in bed, and whatever it is, with one swipe, you can get it to your doorstep. Even when it comes to like dating, man, back in time, you know, guys like today, I saw this app, Tinder and all, you have like all this stuff now, you can just swipe and it happens. But then back in time, you had to approach the person, and that took a lot of courage. And, you know, it's up to date. It's something that most of the guys are not extremely good at.
Exactly.
So it's about the lifestyle, you know, how things have changed, and there are good things, of course, but then the cons come with it.
Well, social media, I think technology is like electricity. You know, you can either use it to light up or you can use it to kill somebody. What do you think about the social media? What's happening today, man? What's your perspective? It's a great tool, but why aren't most youngsters are using it properly?
Social media is nonsense, man. Like, listen, it is extremely a good way, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's all about people, you know, sharing it. You can meet new people. Forget about all that. But when it comes to reality, these days, it's like people are using, like you go into social media and you have these expectations where you build in your own self, which cannot be attained naturally. For example, simplest example, you have fitness influencers, right? You see all these like celebrities with amazing bodies, but then it's like a minority of people that understands it's not natural. You need to use PEDs and steroids and whatever it is to get into that. So then we develop expectations, and then in the end, we will be disheartened. We will be like disappointed, man, because there's so much we can do about it. And then I also think people who go on social media and every day uploading, oh, I did this, I did that. I don't think those people really put in the work, because if you are really working, I don't think you have enough time to do all that, man.
Exactly.
You know, like there are people who go, I did 10 things a day, 15 things a day. But I think if you are really busy, if you have a lot of things going on, I don't think you have time to log into social media and just upload your stuff.
Just imagine, man, like if you take the grades, you know, it was like, let's take a grade like LeBron James. So just go to his social feed and see how many posts he put today.
Exactly.
If you look at any successful person, go and check his feed or her feed.
Eminem has 0 following, man.
Exactly.
Like,
because you have 24 hours. You sleep 6 hours, or let's say you sleep 8 hours. You got 16 hours, man. How you spend those 16 hours is everything. And out of that 16 hours, if you're spending 1 hour on social media, that means your life is not properly meant to, you know, to be the best, because you got to organize a lot of things. If you're having time to spend 1 hour on social media or 2 hours, it means you're missing it out. Because guys, like if you want to be in the top 5%, you can't do what the 95% is doing. Yeah. Get to that 5%, right? You got to do what the 5% is doing. So I really appreciate that point you mentioned, man. Like if you're really doing the work.
I don't think so. Like, yeah, like you look at all these celebrities, yeah? Do you see them posting like 15 stories every single day?
Yep. We're not talking about the so-called Instagram influencers or the TikTok influencers. We're talking about the real people who do the work, who really mastering their craft.
Yeah, it's not that. But we're talking about, you know,
the real game changers.
The real deal, man.
Yes. It's a very interesting thing to say, man. Social media has become a big part of our life. That's true.
Definitely.
But it's about your mind to really go ahead and control it.
Yep.
So, brother, let's move into, you know, some area which you're really passionate about, bodybuilding. Like there are different ways in fitness. You have powerlifting, which I'm a fan of, and you're into bodybuilding. Like, what makes you fall in love with bodybuilding, man?
Well, it goes all the way back to when I started it, man. You know, I used to be very skinny, you know, like I used to be scrawny and everything, but then I wanted to make a change.
Yeah.
And it's all about the personality. Like it's about, I wanted to feel good. You know, that's when I stepped into the gym, and it was extremely hard, but it was like it was packing your bag, eating your meals, and going to gym every day. And I think it helped a lot with my personality and how everything changed for me afterwards. Like
Exactly, because it's about doing things to uplift yourself.
Yeah.
Very critical to uplift your mindset, your emotional state, your physical state. 3 critical things for success. If your mindset is there, but if your emotional state is bad, it's not going to help you. If both of them are there, but if your physical state is bad, then why do you live your life if you're trying to not live a proper, long, good life as a healthy person? So, like, who are your favorite bodybuilders, by the way?
Well, there's no one, but to name a few, I like Phil Heath, I like Sebum, I like Rich Piana, who's not with us anymore, and then I also like Andre Dew. Like, those are like my favorites,
Yeah. What are some lessons that you learn from these guys? I'm not trying to say, like, be specific about each person, but, like, what are key lessons you learn from these guys?
Yeah, man. Like, it's about, see, there like all these people, most of the people I mentioned, not only them, but who knows, but there were people who went through major injuries, man. Like, there were people who basically got into accidents, tore muscles, and if it was a normal person, they would literally be on bed for the rest of their lives. But I've seen people, bodybuilders, where they like break a tendon, they tear a tendon, they wrap the hand, and they come to gym and they work on the other hand.
Wow,
Like,
that's
think
great.
about it. That is what it is, man. And it's that being compassionate about. This can be only understood by people who are actually working out. Who are, like, I'm not saying others cannot, but the majority of people who understands this are the people who are actually pushing themselves in the gym. Like, I've seen bodybuilders who basically come back. Look at Phil Heath. Like, he won like so many titles at a stretch, and he comes back again and again. He doesn't quit. He's getting old, but it's just the work ethic, man. It's about doing what you have to do, because it doesn't mean, they don't say you have to do it, but they just do it. It's about that consistency. It's about the work ethic. It's about
work ethic is very critical for our country, because I feel we are in a state of where our work ethic is really diminishing. Most people don't have a purpose about their work ethic. Guys, it's like this, okay? Without work ethic, you can sustain. All right? Work ethic is like essential to sustain. If you're not doing the work, you can, man. Like, I don't know why, because most people are trying to, it's with the comfortable lifestyle too, which is really happening, like you said. But I really want to push. The whole thing about the show is, man, to, push and inspire people to develop that work ethic. And it's not about being busy for being busy, okay? It's about being productive. Because you can be busy, if you're an entrepreneur, you're working 10 hours, you can do completely things that are not in line with your craft and be busy. It's not about the time you spend, it's what you do during the time you spend. So I always have this concept, you need to work hard and work smart. Like, you got to determine what are the things you need to do that are in line with your purpose, and then you got to go work hard on it. Like, if you look at the gym, right? If you say your purpose is to build your body, you can work extremely hard on the treadmill, man.
Yeah.
You can be extremely working hard on your cardio, but you're never going to build your body. So you need to determine what's your work ethic, what's your purpose, then you need to determine your work ethic. Most people are not designing the work ethic. I see that. Most people are just fitting into different work ethics.
Yeah.
They don't have a clear idea about what your objective is. So I believe, my perspective is, if you want to develop a work ethic, you got to first be passionate about your objective or your vision. And then you got to do the analysis, and then you got to put the work to design a work ethic, do the proper planning, and then go about and execute it. That's critical. Like, if you want to build your body, do workouts to build your body. If you want to lose weight, do workouts to lose your weight. It's all, your work ethic's got to be in line with your purpose. And then hard work means you're going all intensely working and going all the way. So guys, don't be lazy. Go work hard. It's really critical. I think for the rest of the podcast and for many podcasts, we're going to be elaborating this, because most people don't get it.
Yeah, man. The thing is, like, I'm sure many people, like I mentioned before, I'm sure many people have heard the same thing, work hard, do this and that. But sometimes it can even be a nuisance, But if you actually think about it, that is the only solution.
Exactly.
And the first thing is, you need to get straight what you wish for, what you want for. Like, you need to see. You need to have a vision. I'm not talking about a wish list, but you need to have a vision. Most of the people, they have a wish list where they wish, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. But it's It's doing the things what you do to get there. You can't just wish for something. You need to work for it, man.
Exactly. It's like you're dreaming and you're not working for it. You know, guys, dreams, for the rest of your life, your dream will be a dream if you don't put the work in.
Yep.
Don't be one of those guys girls, after 60 years of age or 70 years of age, looking back, having the same dream and thinking you never achieved it. Just be in the process. Do the work. Because if you don't do the work, you'll regret. I don't know why most people fear about starting. What do you think about it? Why do people fear about starting, man?
It's the fear of failing.
Yep, that's what it is.
That's what it is,
Yes.
man. Most of the people fear to start because you fear to fail. And most of the time people are so concerned about what others are going to think. It's about if others are going to laugh at you or what insult you or embarrass you. Most of the people worry about that. A majority of people do worry about that. And that is what prevents you from starting something. It can be from anything. It can be a business. It can be, doing what you like, doing what you love, doing what you always wanted. And if you get through that barrier, I'm sure at some point you can get amazing results.
That's true. When we talk about failure, failure is, guys, it's not about doing mistakes. It's not about failing during the process. You're going to have a ton of failures. Even when we try to go for a heavy weight, we're going to fail, man.
Yeah, man.
But we're not going to give up. We're going to work ourselves to do that weight again, right? So the real failure is what I believe when you die, you have not lived a fulfilled life. That's where real failure is. So guys, what I see is most people who are afraid about failing in the short term live miserable in the long term. That's real failure. So let's say you are an entrepreneur who want to start a business. You start a business, your business collapses. It's not failure. When you fail, take accountability.
Yeah.
Take responsibility for your actions. We are living in a world where most people are blaming,
Yeah.
When I don't do my business right, they just start blaming. Don't play the blaming game. Don't be a complainer. Take accountability, man. It's critical to take accountability. Why do you think?
That is something where most of the people of our society today that lacks.
Exactly.
Like you go around, you see people blaming each other for like problems. They're like, oh, it's because of him, it's because of that. But you need to take accountability at a point. It's not like, if you know what you did wrong, that's where you can correct yourself the next time.
So I have this whole there's like a 4-step. You fail, you take accountability, you learn, and you re-execute, and you keep going. That's where grit comes in. So guys, if you fail, don't just put yourself down. Okay, every successful person was a failure.
Yep.
And that if you don't know failure is the way you learn what you did not know before. Now you have new information, you can execute better the next time.
Yep. It's about
and you might fail again.
you can be successful, but then if you fail 99 times, 99 things to not do the next time.
Exactly.
If you succeed from once, that leaves you with so many doubts as to where you can go wrong.
Yeah, failure is a great opportunity, guys, but it only comes to those who seize that opportunity. Once you fail, it's a learning experience. Learn from it. Don't repeat it, okay? Don't take failure for granted and say, oh my God, I'm a good failure. Don't be that, okay? Yeah. Don't plan the failures. Let it happen. If it happens, learn and keep going. There are some guys, or girls who want to take sympathy as failure. That's not what we're talking about. Don't try to show I'm working hard, I'm a failure. It's not the idea we're telling out. We're saying, let failure happen if it happens. If it doesn't, it's great. But if it happens, don't put yourself down. Keep going. So, bro, you're doing your degree as well, right?
I'm doing my bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Yeah, you're doing it at Deakin University.
Yeah, I'm planning to fly, but with the pandemic and all.
How do you balance your education and your professional life?
Well, I think there's no such thing as work-life balance, man. It's not just applying to me, but it applies to everybody. There's no such thing as work-life balance. But what matters is the choices that you make along the way.
100% true, man.
It's the choices you make and facing the consequences with it.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything as work-life balance. All these people talk about this balance, that balance. Nah. It's about the choices that you make in between. It's about knowing which is more important at a certain point in life. And then you make the choice and then you deal with the consequences. You need to be brave enough to deal with the consequences. I'm sure I saw some interviews and podcasts where great people, they had to go through so much because they made some choices. They were not able to balance their work life and their personal lives. It's about balancing and it's dealing with the consequences.
It's more of organizing your day.
Yeah.
Most people don't take time to properly plan their day.
Yeah.
They just go blindfolded to the world, and they let everything happen to them, rather than being proactive and you're just taking control of their situations.
Yeah.
And their the work they do. Yes, even I'm in agreement. Work-life balance is I believe it's a myth. If you listen to any successful person, you'll see it's about figuring out what areas you want to live your life to the fullest. It's your career, your relationship, your family, your fitness, and then organizing your days, your weeks, where you can do the best pretty much in all areas.
Yeah.
Don't be a person who want a good relationship, but you're in the career all the time and then you get depressed. Or don't be the person who want a good career and just focus on the relationship and then again be miserable.
Yeah.
Guys, there are people who balance, who have actually excelled in all these areas. It's about how you manage your time, how you manage your energy, and how you organize your day. Once again, we're getting back into discipline. How disciplined you are in your career, how disciplined you are in your relationship, how disciplined you are in your personal fitness and your health.
Yeah.
You gotta get disciplined. Discipline is key, man. So we have talked a lot, man. It's amazing, and you guys might be knowing, this is the exact reason I wanted to get this guy in the show, because he knows his stuff. This is one reason we got connected quickly too, man. Because our friendship was it turned into a brotherhood because we shared the like-minded.
Yeah.
And he's such a humble human being. I gotta tell you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
He's such a humble person because he's got zillions of reasons to be an egoistic person, but he's not doing it. He's very down to earth, very humble. How much do you think humility is critical, man? Because we are all humans. I think most people forget that we are humans with success. Why do you think it happens to most people?
Humility is extremely important. Personally, I find most of the time you see all these celebrities, right? Maybe in our country or internationally, but you see humble people who just go and talk to their fans, who just signs them, and you feel happy looking at them, man.
Yeah.
What do you think the reason is? Yeah, it makes your day. There were times I saw, it was, I think, LeBron James, if I'm not mistaken. I saw there was a waitress, right, on the basketball court. She was just carrying the drinks, and she trips. And she just falls over, spilling the whole thing on the floor, and she was crying. And LeBron, literally in the middle of the match, he just walks to her and, helps her up and talks to her and just makes the day. And things like that can just make the whole person's day, man. And it's humility does more than what you think it does.
Yeah, so a thing that I see common in successful people who are really happy.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about successful people who you think they're successful, but they're going to bed and they're really depressed. That's not success. Success is when you go to bed, you have done a service, and you're actually sleeping happily. Yeah. That you have made your life count. So I think humility is something we see in almost all these people who are really fulfilled in their life. Tony Robbins says this beautiful thing, don't try to go for achievement, just go for fulfillment. It's critical. So,
but I also think, man, humility is a choice.
It is.
See, you can't force someone to be humble.
It is.
It's you see someone and it all comes down to your perspectives and what you want to do. I don't think you can categorize someone being good or bad depending on that. But it's about what you want to do. If you want to carry yourself as that, go for it. If not, the same thing.
Yeah, life is about a choice we make. You can choose to be disciplined. You can choose to be lazy.
Yeah.
You can choose to be humble, or you can choose to be egoistic. And the thing is, most people have confused this, ego and pride. Mm-hmm. They say the lion has the ego. Lion does not have the ego. Lion has the pride. And you need to have self-pride to carry yourself. That's critical. Ego means you're actually thinking about yourself in a high way where you actually destruct other people. Yeah. You don't smile. You put other people down. That's not pride. No. Pride is where you believe in yourself. At the same time, you're nice to people. You're kind to people. What do you think? Why do most people don't understand this difference between ego and pride, man? Where's the confusion?
Pride is extremely important, man.
Yeah, it is.
Pride is extremely important, and I think where the mix of both these two concepts come in, it's because you see, some people are wannabes. No offense, but some people, you watch a movie, you watch a series, you see a guy acting in a certain way, and you're like, oh, I want to be that, I want to be this, and you try to portray yourself like that, and that's where you mix up the two. You see whatever you call it, the fictional characters on Netflix or whatever it is, you see, and you're like, oh, I wish that's going to make me popular. I wish that's going to get me this, that's going to get me that. And you walk out and you try to be something else, someone else, while using your own self.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it also depends. Ego can sometimes be built with your own life experiences as to what you went through when you were a kid or whatever it is. Like, there are people who came all the way to the top with a lot of hardships. See, and sometimes they do not see the world like other people's do, because they're worried because nobody helped them and it's all, self-made, and they just don't want to help another person. And that's also the place where this concept has been built. But I think pride is really important. You see, it's about carrying yourself, and sometimes you can be at a disadvantage if you are too kind to people. That, like it or not, it's reality, man.
Yeah, but it's more of like a short-term trouble you're gonna get into,
Yeah.
It's not gonna be very long-term.
As long as your motives are correct, as long as your motives are good,
Yep.
the result is gonna be the same.
Yeah, and we have been speaking for a long time. I just want to get into a very interesting thing, because we both are like really eager about exploring masculinity.
Yeah.
And the concept of being a man, and what it is to be a man. I think there's a big misinterpretation about what being a man is. Most people think when you're like the bad boy, you're a man. Most people think when you're egoistic, you're a man.
Yeah.
Most people think like when you're not kind, when you're not nice, you're a real man. But masculinity is something which is about really becoming your best version of yourself.
Yeah.
What's your perspective about masculinity, and how can young boys who are looking to find themselves can actually unleash their real masculinity in them?
Yeah. To start off with, it's not easy being a man in this world. You can be 15 years old, you can be 55, but it's still gonna be the same. And it's not easy, man. Like, men in society are seen to be people who cannot show their emotions, who are supposed to hide them. And like it or not, but it's interpreted as if you show your emotions, you are to be naive or weak. That's how it is. In life, especially for young adults, people will walk into your life. People will break your heart. They'll break your trust, your loyalty. Like, everything's going to be crashed at a point. Like, sometimes that's going to happen. You see people lie to you. People backstab you. It can be friends. It can be your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you're into. And it will break you. It is going to hurt. It's going to hurt so bad. But I think in life, you need to take those things as lessons.
Exactly.
And if you let it go, it's going to be a regret. See, there were times where I've questioned myself if I have any regrets in life. That is depending on how you took the lesson, what you went through. See, you're at a very bad place. Let's say you're going through something very bad. You've gone through hell, and if you get back up, it makes you stronger, man.
Yep.
And that is zero regrets. But if you let it go, if you stay down, if you stay weak, if you let whatever it traumatize you and break you, that is going to be a regret. So, as men, we have a lot of responsibility.
Yep.
Like, a lot of responsibility. Yep. I know there are females who are asking for equality and whatnot. That's a whole different topic. But as men, it's hard. As far as I understand it, for my age, with my experiences, it's not easy. It's about going through a lot. It's about being the breadwinner of the family. It's about, as Sri Lankans, it's about being the breadwinner and taking care of the people you love, having a lot of responsibility, having to live up to so many expectations and responsibilities, and it's not easy, man.
Yeah.
And in the current world, as you mentioned, men need to be more disciplined and they need to have more grit.
Exactly. And whether you're a man or a woman, you're given a life. Okay, you have to live your life to the fullest potential that's given to you. So one thing you said, was interesting. Men are not allowed to show their emotions.
Yeah.
I think vulnerability is actually a part of a man. But how you express your vulnerabilities is what really shows the character of a man. Most guys and most boys try to show their vulnerability to get attention.
Yeah.
That's not manly. You're just trying to get attention through your vulnerability. But what I believe is a true man expresses his vulnerability in a way of communication, and they communicate it precisely as a way of sharing an emotion with another person. Not in a way to expect anything from that person, but as a way, if I have a vulnerability, I communicate it so that it'll become a lesson for somebody else.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men, the biggest mistake men try to do is they try to hide their vulnerability. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's where I believe not hiding your vulnerability is critical, because once you hide your vulnerability, whether you're a man or a woman, you'll bottle up at a certain point, right?
Yep.
And that's going to be really bad. So be have the courage to express your vulnerability, which is very, very critical, man. So that's an amazing topic to discuss about, and I don't think one podcast is not enough to talk about it.
It is not.
So and it's a very, very focused topic as well. So I think I'll be bringing you again, man, for sure. So before we wind up the show, I think I'd like to know, what do you think are the main obstacles and challenges you see that youngsters are facing today in our country compared to how it was before? Like, what are the main things you think that really, try to stop them all the time?
See, I'll leave the basic and the main reasons aside, and I'll talk about some reasons that we might not see, that are might not, like, really small, and we might not focus on. So number one, I think we tend to overcomplicate things. You see, sometimes it's very simple, man. Whatever it is, if you want something, you work for it, right? If you like something, you like it. If you say no to something, that means you don't want it. And if you love someone, you go and say to that person. It's that simple. Sometimes basic matters, we tend to overcomplicate the whole process. And it's going to be a mess. It's going to waste your energy. It's going to drain yourself, literally, and it's going to be very hard. And another reason is the lack of focus. We tend to be distracted. We are extremely distracted. The smallest thing happens, we tend to crash out of the course. Anything can happen. And I'm talking about long term and short term. So you're working on something. Let's say you're working towards a goal or anything that you like. And then halfway through the journey, you tend to be out of focus and you just fall out of track. And then the most critical part is you lack the motivation to start all over again.
Very true, man.
And you just let it go.
Yeah.
See, that's the whole point. You work for something, and let's say you do really well. You work on the steps, you start with the baby steps and move on. And at a certain point, you just give up. And then at that point, you're like, nah, screw it. I'm not going to do it again. And that's the reason why you fall. You just don't have the energy and everything to start it back up. And that is where I think most of the failures are at that certain point. See, it is the ability to pick yourself up, get back on step one, and start all over again. That is where success is determined at the end. It's about doing the same process from the beginning back to where you want to be, and that is what it is. And also, one thing I see is a lack of education. You see, career-wise, I'm talking specifically towards a certain point here. Career-wise, education, it is a must. You see, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to school. I'm not saying you just do something, but it is very mandatory, like it or not. You need to focus on that. You need to have the knowledge in order to do something right. You can start something. You can start a business. You can start whatever you want, but you will crash at a certain point if you do not know, if you cannot manage how to balance that. It can be practical. It can be theoretical. It can be literal, whatever it is. It's about the knowledge. It can be learned from anywhere. I'm not saying just school and university and everything, but it can be learned from the streets.
Yeah, you can also. Most people are not self-educating too, man. They're spending a lot of time on focusing on what other people are doing.
Yeah.
But they're not really focusing on people who are really making a difference. This is why I'm a huge believer of listening to podcasts, reading books, going and meeting people who have really done things in life, because the knowledge and wisdom you get from them is critical. Yeah. I think in our country, I believe the word education is not properly explained. Just like how the word discipline is not properly explained. Yeah, man. So education is if you take the Latin terms, education means you develop within. It's not just about feeding information to yourself. You're feeding your knowledge. You feed knowledge to yourself, and then you really think about it, and you develop yourself. So it's really critical, man. What kind of challenges you faced in your journey? So I know you have a long way to go, brother. You have an amazing way to go, and your mindset for such a young age is so critical, because more stuff the youth lacks it today. But you have it, so I'm so grateful, man, that you have it. What obstacles did you face in your life that really try to stop you, and how did you overcome them?
I think I personally faced I've been distracted plenty of times. You see, I talk about it now, but then at a certain point, I was a victim to that. It was crazy. And then also, it's about, you need to keep in mind why you are doing the certain thing. You need to have in mind why you started it. You see, if you feel like quitting, you need to remember why you started. I know this is saying the same thing, but That's extremely important at a point.
Yeah.
If you want something so bad, you need to keep in mind what is it that you're aiming for.
Yep.
And if you have the vision clear, I think the consistency and the discipline that I spoke about before, it's going to be much easier.
Yep.
You see, I'm not saying it's going to be super easy, but it's going to be better because you know what you're working for. You know what you're sweating for, right? So that is very important. And also in my life, I think it's about picking myself back up after all the crashes. You see, like I said before, there are many downfalls, man. Like, you see, you can go through emotional breakdowns and you name it. Like, whatever it is, sometimes it's going to be very tough.
Yep.
But it's the whole process of getting back yourself up.
Yep.
So you get your heart broken, you fix it back. You be physically injured in the gym, you fix it back and you get back on track. You'll be mentally broken. You fix it back, man. It's what life is. Life is not easy.
Yep.
Like, whoever said that, it's bullshit, man.
Exactly. It's complete bullshit, and it's never easy. It's always a challenge. You're gonna face challenges too, even after you're successful. But it's about how you live the moment and how you commit to the process is really critical, man.
If it's easy and if everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong.
Yep.
Like, that's so true.
I have this whole perspective. If many people criticize you, if many people if there are a lot of naysayers who say that you can't do it, this is not going to happen, it means you're doing something different. So go for it, okay? Don't let the naysayers, don't let these toxic people to stop you from going for your dreams. Did you have any toxic people around you who try to stop you, man?
I did.
Everybody has it, isn't
yeah,
it?
man. It's like my closest friends. They were the same people that who were, talking down and, just doing what they have to do. And it's later on I figured it out. And you should not throw stones at dogs that bark because they're barking from behind.
That's true, man.
That's very important. And it's like, it's very important. And sometimes it's your own people, the people that you were really close with, that who meant something to you at a certain point in life. It's the same people that will also sometimes hurt you. You see, because the thing is, it's when those people are doing so, it is a different impact as to if a stranger does it. See, it's the same people that who you were with, who loved you, who meant something to you. And then in the end, they are the same people that who just destroys everything and who just pretty much so-called, talking behind your back. Everything's done by them.
Yep.
And then it hits you differently because if a stranger does it, you don't even know that person exists. It's different. But then if it's someone that who you valued at a certain point, it can be mutual, but I'm saying the damage, it hits different.
Yeah.
So then it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, man. Like,
Yeah.
Life is not all about rainbows and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you want to make everyone happy, I think it's better you sell ice cream. That's how I think of it.
Even then, you can't sell. You can't make everybody happy because if somebody comes all the time without money to get ice cream,
Yeah, man.
still you can't make anybody happy. So you can't please everybody, guys. So it's been a very, very beautiful, amazing podcast, man. I learned amazing points from you. I think the audience, like you guys, I hope you got some amazing wisdom from this podcast. Before I ask my final question from you, like what plans you have, man? What's happening recently? Anything or any project happening?
I'm planning to complete my studies and I'm planning to finish my bachelor's and start with my master's.
That's beautiful.
So
That's
I'm planning
amazing.
to move to Australia and that's my career-wise. And I hope to continue modeling to a certain extent.
Yeah.
According to, like it's how it comes and how it goes. And yeah, those are my plans, pretty much it. And
Yeah. So before I ask my final question, man, I want to take some time to acknowledge you and to provide my gratitude to you, man, because you are a young guy who has already achieved much things than another person, and the humility you have, like I said before, is amazing, man. And thanks for doing this, coming all the way,
thanks,
and
man. The pleasure's all
being
mine,
a part of this amazing podcast. So to wind up, man, my final question is: how do you see success? What's your meaning of success?
Success, it's all on how you see it, man.
Mm-hmm.
See, it can be as same as perfection. What's perfect in my eyes cannot be perfect in yours.
Yeah.
And success, it's completely subjective. See, what I want in life, someone might have small, much
Yep.
achievable dreams, while some people might have extremely, like Elon Musk, who wants to make people live on Mars.
Yep.
That's how it is. But
Yep.
at the end of the day, personally, what I feel like is if I can be someone in the future that another kid, where I was all the way back in time when I was a child, if that person can look up to me,
Yep.
like I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, and be like, oh, that's something I can learn from, the way that person carries himself. I think that is very important. You see, that will be extremely satisfactory. If someone can look up to you and if someone can learn something from you. I'm not talking about mass numbers, but maybe 1, 2, that's completely fine by me. And it's all about satisfaction. See, it's about going to bed at night and being satisfied with yourself. It's about thinking to yourself, I made it. And that is what success really means. It doesn't have to be all mansions, rockets, and all that stuff. It's just small things. It's about that feeling where you get inside. Hopefully one day I'll be there, but it's about the feeling, I think.
You're a real man for sure. I'm confident about it.
It's about the feeling that you feel like, I made it. You know, it's about going to bed at night in peace and feeling. It's about having so much respect for your younger self. This kid made it, that this kid went through it. It's about your older self having respect to the younger guy. The same life, but it's completely two different chapters, man. I think that is what success really means.
It's the inner fulfillment you get, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly, man. This podcast was amazing, and if there's one thing you want to take, I think it's about really going in, understanding and finding your life to achieve fulfillment, man. Rashmitha, thanks for doing this, brother.
Thanks
Looking
for
forward,
me, man.
and I hope everything you're.
It's amazing. The pleasure is all mine, to be honest, and you're doing something great here, and I'm really happy to be the first guest.
Yes, it is, man. And having a brother like you is amazing.
Man, same, man.
Yeah,
it's
man.
amazing.
Thanks,
it's awesome what you're doing here. Motivation is something extremely mandatory, and good luck, man.
I'm so grateful.
Hope you all
man.
get it right.
I'm so grateful. All right, guys. So that's up with the podcast today. I hope everybody learned some amazing points. If you have any comments, any questions, leave a comment. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, guys, it'll be amazing if you can subscribe. And if you like this episode, share it with 3 friends. If you don't like it, then don't share it. Anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to bringing another episode with you. Until then, take care, everyone. See you again.